What's up? Welcome to the Pretty Decent Podcast, the podcast that barely meets expectations. My name is Javier, and I'll be your host. So relax, grab some snacks, and enjoy. All right, now let's get to the episode. Okay, before you say anything, I'm sorry. I know it's been, over a month. Last episode was published in July 24th, and it is now September 2nd. And I'm aware it's been a long time coming. The hiatus was unexpected to say the least. But there's a good reason behind it, and that's because I was busy getting a date for the wedding. I told you guys. I mentioned it in the last episode that I was on a mission to acquire a date for a wedding that I am attending in a few days from today. And hey, mission accomplished. Because your boy secured that date shortly after, surprisingly, after that episode came out. And now I have a girlfriend, and that's, I know, poof, I'm flabbergasted as well. I never thought the day would come. I always thought I was gonna be lonesome Hob, like the lone wolf, the misunderstood fella. But hey, a lot of things have transpired in the past month and like what 8 days, I think, 9 days, whatever. The podcast turned 2 years on August 4th, which is thank you, thank you. What else happened? I went to New Orleans because Alyssa, you know her, you love her. My best friend and my cousin graduated from college, so I surprised her at her graduation, and I'll dive more into that. I've, been going out on dates and stuff, so my personal life has been more private than usual. And now I'm planning on keeping it that way, obviously, out of respect of her and me. And yeah, man, I don't know. It's been like right now I'm sick. The race is in 20. Today's September 2nd, and the race is September 24th. 22 days, I think. Yeah, 22 days. And I know that's crazy because it's like, 3 weeks left of training, and I surprisingly feel very unprepared compared to the first marathon. But I gotta say, like, summer has been way too hot, hotter than I expected it to be. Work has been very tiring and stressful, so that has taken a toll on my body. And it's just so many things going on that I haven't really been able to put as much energy and focus as I would want to training. But at the same time, I'm like prioritizing my personal life and my health before running. So it's kind of frustrating because I know, like, I mean, when I sign up for races, I obviously want to perform better than previous races, but at the same time, I gotta be realistic considering all of the stuff that happens in the training camp. Because obviously, I would love to beat my 4:15 time from the first marathon. Is it possible? Absolutely, yes. But I'm at the same time, like, I kind of want to do this one more as to, like, yeah, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. Like, kind of like, because it's for my birthday. That's the reason that I'm doing it. I don't have a plan of using this one to qualify for one of the big races or anything like that. Like, I knew what I was signing up for, the reason why I was signing up for. And I also just want to get more marathons under my belt so that I can, because every marathon is different, every race is different. So I kind of figured, like, okay, this is a marathon in September. Yeah, I've done a race before in September that was a half marathon, but the weather is significantly hotter than 2 years ago. So I kind of want to, like get the ropes of it and stuff. Because, yeah, I pretty much have done a race in every season except summer. Because that would be stupid. But obviously, eventually I will end up doing a race in the summer. Because I've done two half marathons in April, May. That's what, spring, almost the beginning of summer. And then I've done a half marathon in September, which that's, the end of summer, beginning of fall. And then the marathon was in January, and that's winter, but obviously it's in Louisiana, so it's not the same winter that we have here in Illinois. But yeah, I mean, I did a 20-mile run today, and as you can hear in my voice, my voice is a little bit raspy, and that's because last weekend my allergies starting acting up. Like 2 weeks ago, the weather was just insanely hot, and just I feel like going from hot to cold, because like at work the AC is blasting all the time because I work at a factory, and then like I have the AC running at home, and then it's hot outside. It's like it was like feels like 110. And also I kind of want to say that also from being in New Orleans, and it was also pretty hot there, and then just like all of like the weather changes and stuff really messed up with my allergies. And then last Sunday, it was just like my body said, like, you know what, you're gonna get sick because your allergies can't take it anymore. So this whole week I've just been feeling like I've had the chills for like, I think I had them from Tuesday all the way to like Thursday, and just like headaches and like an annoying cough like so I want to apologize beforehand if I take a break, because I'm going on like a crazy like coughing fit or whatever. That's why I have some tea. I don't think I should be drinking chai at 10 p.m., but hey, like it's the entertainment business. But yeah, I kind of felt discouraged after the run that I did today, because the plan, like I haven't been able to do as many long runs as I would have liked to, because the weekends for some reason have just been extremely hot every weekend, and I haven't been able to do a confident long run on a Saturday that's more than the half marathon. And I need to start, like do those 16-mile runs, the 18-mile runs, the 20-mile runs, so that I can get my body used to like the fuel intake and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm not as hard on myself when it comes to those runs when I don't feel like I did as good as I could have, because there's a bigger story on the run that the watch doesn't tell you when it's like the pace or whatever, because like the weather plays a big role, and like you might have not been able to get a good night's sleep the night before, all of that stuff. And I just feel like it's been very discouraging lately, because I know like I've done a marathon, like I know I can do 20 miles with no problem, but knowing like I feel like I'm failing every time I'm attempting to do a long run, because I'm not able to reach the goal that I want to. Like I don't think I was even able to go past 20 miles today, and I was very disappointed. But then I told myself, I'm like, no, like I've been sick all week. Like my lungs really felt like they were working more than usual, and like I felt like I was using up more energy than usual. And I did an 18-mile run 2 weekends ago, and after mile 16, I just collapsed completely. And I don't know if it was the weather. It was probably the weather. That was probably a big factor. And I don't know. It's been like this training camp has sucked, because it's just the weather has just been against me every day. And I feel like that hasn't really helped as much as I would have wanted to, because I sometimes I do enjoy running in humidity because it helps the body adjust to like different weather conditions. But at the moment, it's just like, ugh, like I don't want to do it or something like that. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm excited. Like I feel like I'll do fine in the marathon because obviously like there's aid stations like very consistently throughout the race, and running with other people gives you more energy and all that stuff. The adrenaline, like it's the race and whatever, all that stuff. And like I know that the shoes that I'll be running in eventually, like they make me faster because they're super shoes, whatever. So I'm not worried on that sense. I'm more worried on like the mental side of the race because from recalling what happened in the first marathon after mile 20, I think 20 mile 2021, that's when I just hit a wall, and it took me 2 almost 3 miles to get over the wall. And it's just a lot of factors that play into like the mental side of the race, and that's what I'm like mostly concerned about. But yeah, it feels good to be back, behind the microphone, in front of the camera. Kind of missed this. I've been meaning to record for a long time, but I feel like I didn't want to rush the episode. I kind of figured like what schedule we're gonna go into, and I think I'll do it bi-weekly episodes, because work has definitely picked up a lot, and obviously like I have a relationship, and that's more important than the podcast. Obviously, I will still be making content. Okay, like I've been writing on my journal like what I want to do with like content wise and all that stuff. I've been planning to transition the studio to the actual spare room and like change the lighting and everything and the panels and stuff, and like fill up that room so that there's not as much echo or whatever. Because if I'm being honest, the first time that I attempted to use that room as a recording room, it sucked because there was too much echo and you guys couldn't see me at all. So I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. Obviously, I can't put the podcast as my only focus because it doesn't pay the bills, unfortunately. I've also been working on my career as a stand-up comedian. Comedian Hav is gonna pull up to your nearest Chili's to do a stand-up set. I don't know, like I feel like I've gotten a lot more confident, and I gotta thank the podcast for that. And a lot of interesting things have happened in the past year that I feel like are stand-up worthy, that I haven't even mentioned in the podcast. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah, it took a while to do the intro, but welcome back. This is pretty decent. Me, I look different. I know. I shaved. I don't have facial hair at the moment. My voice is obviously not the typical soothing radio host Javi voice, but we're working with what we have. This is how we've always been doing it. And yeah, thank you, for listening, subscribing, follow the podcast on Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram at Pretty Decent Pod. Follow me on Instagram at Javi_Sierra. And yeah, man, thank you. Because I really missed you guys. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for me to come back. And I know. It took some time. But I kind of want to talk about the New Orleans. I'm going to, catch you guys up to speed with everything that has been happening. That happened pretty much before this recording. So shortly after the last episode, I secured the trip to New Orleans, right, to surprise Alyssa in her graduation. And that was like, that plan was, it took some time to plan because I had told her, I was like, hey, like, I'll go to your graduation. Obviously, like, like I promised I was going to go, and I'm a man of my word, and I'll go and whatever. Right. And then at one point, like it was real. The whole thing of like me not being able to go at all, 'cause I just couldn't afford it. Like being an adult fucking sucks, man. Like all the bills and shit I have to pay is insane. Like it's like I did not sign up to like, like, how it's like pay to play in some games and stuff, it's like pretty much nowadays it's like pay to live. And I'm like, I did not ask to have to pay for every little thing that I have to do and consume just to live. And I know I'm thankful for everything I have, and I'm thankful to have a job that pays well. Okay. But I'm saying is like everything nowadays is so expensive, and it's frustrating because like I can't do as many things as I would like to do with my time and my youth because I just don't have the financial stability to be able to do it. So I told her, I was like, hey, like I'm sorry, like flights are so expensive, and like I don't think I'll be able to make it, and like I don't have enough off days, but whatever, blah 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 blah. And then she's like, oh, that sucks, but like I understand. And it's like I was like, I'm sorry, like I want to be there, girly, and like all that stuff. And then like I told my dad, I was like, hey, like could you help me like fund the trip to New Orleans, because like I really want to go and everything. And I told him the dates and everything, and like I was able to get a flight to and from New Orleans. Also, Spirit fucking sucks, man, because they get you with that shit of like the ticket is cheap, and then you're like, oh, like I'm flying Spirit, so like I'll just take a carry on. Because like I took Thursday off. I took Thursday, Friday, and Monday off, I believe. Wait, let me check. When was August 15? August 15, I believe, was a Tuesday. Let me take a... No, this is not the calendar. August 15 was... So I took Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday off. Because the graduation was on a Friday. And I'm like, LSU, why the fuck do you have your graduation on a Friday? But anyway. So I got back on Tuesday morning. And I ended up using 4 off days. And I'm like, well, might as well use the off days while I can travel without having the stress of like, oh, if I travel right now, like I'll get stuck in a snowstorm in the airport and then like blah, 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 blah. So I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like I'm traveling to visit family. I won't be like cheap about it or anything like that. So I haven't seen them in almost a year, most of them. So except Alyssa, obviously. So I was like, I'll just go. And so I booked the ticket and everything. And I was like, I'm just going for a few days. I'll just take a backpack with some clothes and that's fine. It'll be my carry-on, then my personal item, whatever. And then I get there and they're like, oh, does it fit? Like, can you put your bag here to make sure it fits under the seat? And I'm like, my shit looked like a turtle shell. Like, I'm telling you, it looked like I was... Like, I was cosplaying the Ninja Turtles. And speaking of the Ninja... Well, I'm going to talk about it later because I did watch the movie and oh my God, it was so good. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that they got me with that shit of like, oh, you have to pay for your carry-on. It was $100 fucking for that shit. Do you have any idea? For a backpack, I paid almost half of my ticket. Like the price that I paid for the ticket originally, I ended up paying it on a carry-on. And then they were like, oh, next time when you're checking in online, make sure you're buying it on the app before you check in because it's cheaper. And I'm like, well, fuck you guys, because my bag could be this full in like any other flight or whatever, and it counts as a personal item. But I'm like, whatever. And like so many people fell for that shit. The same thing that I fell for, a lot of people also fell for it. So I was like, damn, like this fucking sucks, man. And like I was like, should I just buy like a carry-on and like fly more comfortably, whatever? And I was like, nah, like whatever, I'll just pay for it when I like flying back and stuff. And I was just so frustrated like leaving. And then like I was documenting like the trip going to New Orleans, and I like purposely removed Alyssa from like, I blocked her from seeing my stories. I think she's back. I think I unblocked her. Yeah, I probably did. So I blocked her from seeing my stories and everything. And then like I made it to New Orleans. Sorry. Jesus. I made it to New Orleans, and I got there at like midnight, and then the graduation was the next day. and I was exhausted, and we had to wake up at 5 in the morning because the graduation started at 9, and it's an hour away, and it's like I was staying with my aunt and my uncle and over at their house, and like like multiple people are using the same bathroom, so I was like, okay, like I'll be the first one to shower first, and then if anything I'll just take a nap or whatever. And then like we go to Baton Rouge, and like the graduation's there, and I'm like, the graduation is long because like so many people. If anything is like, it was long, but I like she left after she got her like the thing in the meantime while she gets her degree. So it wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be, but in the like me and my cousin, like we went on a Starbucks run in the middle of the ceremony because she still wasn't walking. So we were like, oh, why if we like just get Starbucks? And see, like normally I'm not a Starbucks person, but lately I've been into Starbucks a lot, and not like out of preference. It's mostly, yeah, it kind of is, but it's like, I don't know. Like I've been consuming so much caffeine lately, and it's insane. But anyway, so we got back, and then like we saw her walk and everything, and like she was waving towards like where we were sitting, and then she just like, I can notice that she's like looking like, who is that? And then I was like, oh, ooh. And then like after the whole ceremony, like we meet outside, and I was like, surprise, I'm here. And she's like, what are you doing here? I thought you weren't coming. And then I was like, I couldn't miss like your graduation. And then she told me how like she almost texted me during the ceremony and saying like, oh, I wish you would be here, whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, you knew. I think obviously I was gonna come. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's your graduation. But it was a nice moment. I like visiting New Orleans because it's like my second home. It's more of a home than actual Illinois. Well, that's a lie, because
Oh my God!
that's the first time I mentioned where I live. God damn it. Anyway, because where I currently live, it's a home to me now. I've been living here for a year. But I don't know. There's something about New Orleans. And then the entire trip, it was like hanging out with her friends. So it was like weird being back and like hanging out with college people, speaking as if I'm like so removed from college when I've just graduated. I graduated a year ago. And it just felt weird because I'm like, I do fit in with because of the age, but I'm like, I'm so removed already from this life that it's weird. But they're pretty cool people. It was stupid hot, and it was just insanely. I was like, I don't like the weather. It's just like it was sweating all the time, and I was like, eh. And then I flew back Monday afternoon, and then I arrived in Chicago at 7 in the morning, and then my now girlfriend picked me up from the airport after like 2 hours because there was a lot of traffic. And then that same day, I was so sleep deprived, but that same day we went on a hike, and then I asked her to be my girlfriend. But hey, we're not gonna get into details about that because I almost fumbled it, but it was a success. Despite everything, we were successful. But yeah, I feel like I hadn't really talked about that. Only like my family and some friends knew, but yeah. Anyway, and then yeah, that trip was interesting to say the least. Someone tried to get into a fight with someone else in my first flight to New Orleans. Was it? I think it was. Yeah, no, was it? It was my flight to it. No, it was my flight to New Orleans. No, my flight. Where was my first connecting flight? Orlando. Yeah, the flight to Orlando. Which, by the way, that airport is so stupid. Cause why do I have to do security to go from a terminal to a different terminal when I'm having a layover in that airport. I don't get it. It's pretty stupid, but yeah, on my flight to Orlando, the person sitting in the aisle seat on my row got into a fight. Like, a guy that was sitting like 2 rows behind us like just stood up and like was like trying to fight this guy, and I was like so unfazed by it. I was like, I have notes. I'm just tired. I'm sleepy. I'm just trying to, you know. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. I thought it was going to be like when that whole thing with like the woman saying, he's that motherfucker's not real. He's not real. All that stuff went down. And I was like, oh, this could be a viral TikTok moment, like I could go viral now. But I'm like, I'm too tired to pull out my phone and record it. So I was like, whatever. So I just went back to bed. Well, back to sleep. Imagine if you could travel with your bed in the airplane. You just like pull out your bed and like, just like you're sleeping. That would be insane. I kind of wish I could. Sorry. Wait. I kind of wish I could travel to like, what is it, Dubai or Saudi Arabia, wherever like Fly Emirates flies out to. Oh, the UAE, whatever, right? To fly in those like fancy airplanes, and like it's pretty much like a little bedroom. A little bedroom and like the cabin and stuff, and that would be sick. Are you kidding? That would be so cool. Unfortunately, I can't afford it because I'm broke as hell, but whatever. But yeah, the trip to New Orleans was nice. It was a nice change of scenery. I definitely felt like I needed that because just life has just been, it's been a lot lately. Just very stressful with work and like trying to figure out my life and what I want to do with it. So I'm trying to like, just like focus in like the current, what's going on at the moment, and not focus too much on like what's coming, unless it's obviously it's like like a few days away or whatever. But yeah, after that, that weekend, that following weekend, I did my 18-mile run, which was a failure. And then I met up with some friends from college because it had been a while since I last saw them. So I presented them to my girlfriend, which that was a success. And after that, yeah, it's been here and there. It's been a while, man. It's been like I feel like it's been over a month since I last recorded. Like, I don't even remember what I said in the last episode. Oh, it was the Barbie episode. Yeah. The Barbenheimer episode. Well, that's all right. But no, man, like, the Ninja Turtles movie was so good. Like, I kind of wish it was longer, but I get it. Like, animated movies are hard to make, so I understand why it's like an hour. I think it's like an hour 40 or something like that. But the animation looked so beautiful. It was, I know everyone says like, oh, like animated movies now are trying to be like Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. And to be fair, yes, I feel like Into the Spider-Verse opened the door of using unique animation styles to make movies, but not everyone is trying to copy Into the Spider-Verse. Like, Into the Spider-Verse within itself is creative as hell. Like, the whole thing of like using different frames and all that stuff, like frames per second, all that stuff is pretty cool and interesting and creative and unique. But I feel like also the animated movies, the ones that are coming out and stuff, do take inspiration from Into the Spider-Verse, but they put their own unique twist on it. Like, I mean, I haven't watched this movie yet, but Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, I think it's called. That one, the animation just from the trailers looked really good, and I've heard really good things about that movie. Even the Mario movie, considering it's just like the same Illumination animation, It looked pretty solid, and I mean, I really enjoyed it, and like the animation just looked crisp. And then Ninja Turtles, man, it was so good. Like the humor was there, the emotions were there, the action was there, the music, everything was perfect. Like, sorry, I liked it, the animation, and every time like I watch a movie and I really like it, I go into like these rabbit holes of like different videos explaining what they did or how they did it, all that stuff. And like if you look at the animation, and which I overlooked because I was just like in awe of the movie itself, the animation itself is like meant to replicate like it's a sketchbook. So I found that really cool. Like you can even notice in like the turtles are not like perfectly round or whatever. They have like the weird cuts and stuff. And it's meant to portray like if the sketchbook was made by like the drawings were made by teenagers and like how they would interpret things. Like, you know, like sometimes like you have like the adults look weird or something like that, or like writing is just like scribbling and stuff, and all of that stuff. Like I found it very cool and unique, and just like how the entire like flow of the animation is very intriguing, and I really like it, and I want to watch it again. And even like the toys look like that, and I'm like, ugh, I hate having money, but at the same time I hate not having enough money that I could just like buy the toys and just have them as collectibles, because like I love the Ninja Turtles. If you don't know, if if you've never met me in person, I feel like I've never really talked about how much I like the Ninja Turtles in the podcast, but I'm a big Ninja Turtles fan. Like I live and die for the Ninja Turtles. Like you don't get it. I love every single movie, even the Michael Bay ones. I know. But I just love the movies. I just love the Ninja Turtles in general. They're just like, I feel like every iteration is unique in its own way. Like even I didn't really grow up with like the original cartoon, but I have fond memories of watching the live action ones from like the 80s and the 90s. Like I remember having Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze on DVD. I think also had it on VHS. I don't remember. But just watching them, and like so many fond memories with that. And I like how that movie was made with like, it was all practical suits and stuff and animatronics and stuff, with like the Jim Henson Company, with the same people that do like, you know, the Kermit, like the Muppets, all that stuff, and the Dark Crystal, everything that has like puppets and stuff like that. And then even like I grew up with the cartoon that I grew up with was the one that was here in America, was on Fox Kids. For us, it was called Jetix, I think it was. I think I'm hallucinating right now, but anyway, it's just I saw something weird on the wall. And then I remember the animated movie TMNT that came out in 2007, which I loved it. I remember playing the game on the GameCube and the Wii. I remember having the toys, the action figures. It was so cool. And then I remember when Nickelodeon released the animated show, which I actually watched throughout college. Like I just rewatched it, and it was like so good. I'm like, oh. It's like every all of them have like unique things, and even like the Michael Bay movies, like they were trying to be dark and gritty and stuff. The first one at least. The second one was really good, and if it would have done better in the box office, I feel like the third one could have been really good as well. And then I kind of watched a little bit of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon. And then I haven't watched the Netflix movie that came out with that. And then, you know, most recent with this movie. And now it's like they announced a TV show with that. So I'm really excited about that. And then obviously spoilers for the movie. But sorry. But the movie has a mid-credit scene where Shredder appears. So that'll be interesting because, and this is like the one thing that I had an issue with Mutant Mayhem is that the origin of Splinter is not attached to the Shredder. Because even if they make Hamato Yoshi into Splinter, or like how like the first live action movie had, where like the rat was trained, like was his sensei's pet or whatever, and like that's where he learned ninjutsu and stuff, and then like Shredder killed him and all that stuff. There's still that like link to the Shredder, like between the two families. But now is like in this one, like Splinter is just a regular New York City rat, and then he finds the turtles, and then he like teaches them ninjutsu and all that stuff through videos and movies and stuff. And there's no like direct link into what, you know, the Shredder's clan. I don't remember what his last name was. But other than that, like, I really liked that this one focused more on the teenage side of the Ninja Turtles, because I feel like that wasn't really explored before. I also enjoyed they were actually voiced by teenagers, so that made it it gave it like, you actually feel like they're teenagers, like the jokes and everything, and like the whole thing of them recording all in the booth together and everything was very cool. And I don't know, like even the jokes land, like you can tell like the actual voice actors play a role in like the actual dialogue of the movie, because it doesn't feel like it's like an old person trying to emulate a kid and how they would talk. Because obviously like the whole like cowabunga dude and all that stuff, that was because like it was like an old person trying to like replicate how like a kid or like a young person would talk back in the 80s and the 90s. I forgot how dry my throat gets when I talk too much. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't watched the movie, I highly recommend that you watch it. I really want to watch it again because it made me feel like I was just having so much fun in the entire movie. Like I don't remember having that much fun at the movies in a long time. It was just it was like, I wanted more. And like, it sucks that I waited so long, because I think it was announced in like 2021, late 2020, I think it was. And then like it was a long time coming, and then like I was just so like everything in the movie is perfect. Like I wish there were more action scenes and stuff, but obviously, you know, like it's like their origins and stuff. It doesn't start with them like already like being a great team and fighting together and all that stuff. But I also didn't like that they threw in so many villains at once, and then like the ending, they're all like living together, because like you have like Bebop and Rocksteady are living with them, and like and like Leatherface and all that stuff, which is like, no, Leatherhead, sorry. Which is like kind of weird, because like those are like a mutant villains that the Ninja Turtles, especially I was gonna say Cowboy Bebop, Bebop and Rocksteady. They're like iconic villains for the Ninja Turtles, and then just like like already having them in the first movie, and they're not even like front and center, is like weird. Because like they're affiliated to the Shredder, so like I'm curious to see what they do with it. I mean, obviously like I trust them, like Seth Rogen, like actually like, I don't know why people still doubt Seth Rogen. Like he is producer for The Boys and for Invincible, and like those are two amazing shows. So like I knew like this movie was gonna be pretty good, really good. I love it. Now I'm saving money to buy all the Funko Pops, because like they're so cool. It's like I haven't bought a Funko Pop in so long, and like I need all 4 of them because they look so cool. Even like the whole like, I did not mind Donnie having glasses and having his phone out in like a fanny pack and stuff, or Raph like having a chipped tooth, or like his bandana and stuff, and like Mikey having braces and it just like looked like it fit him pretty nice. And then like April O'Neil's story was also pretty good, and like Splinter like focusing on like fatherhood aspect of his side. Like you like most of the time like Splinter, I feel like it's always like in the backseat, and they don't really like flesh out his character. But now it's like actually like you learn why he's so protective of them and all that stuff. So I like I said, the emotion in the movie is like really hits. And obviously, for me, being very close to my family, it kind of like hit different because I'm like, oh, like I really miss my family. And like 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 all of us, me and my brothers, we do have favorite Ninja Turtles and stuff. So like it's something like we always like could resonate with. So it was kind of like I know like my oldest brother, he likes Donatello, and then I like Leonardo. Obviously, I mean like it's obvious. Like I'm a total Leonardo. I don't care about your sign. I care about what's your favorite Ninja Turtle. Okay, that's just more than like, oh, I'm such a Virgo, I'm such a Sagittarius. Like no, if your favorite turtle is Raphael, you're toxic as hell because you're angry all the time. If you're Mikey, yeah, you're cool. If you're Leo, only I can be Leo. Okay, you can't. Your favorite turtle cannot be Leonardo. That's me. That's mine. Don't touch it. It's mine. Donnie, whatever. But no, I mean, like my other brother, he likes Michelangelo, so like it's like kind of like nice. It's like, I do remember that stuff, obviously. But like the way that they fleshed their characters as well, like each turtle had it's had their moments in the movie. I kind of wanted more of Raphael. I felt like that was like very on the back of like every scene. I'm glad that Donatello actually had more in the movie, and Leonardo, because I feel like a lot of times they only focus on mostly Raphael and Leonardo or Mikey because like the comic relief and stuff. But this one, like all of them were funny, so I kind of like that. But anyway, I think I went on a on a TED talk on like the Ninja Turtles, but if you're a Ninja Turtles fan, you have a problem because that's probably like the coolest IP ever. And if you're saying, oh, but the Ninja Turtles are for like kids and stuff, and I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You know why? Because if you think the Ninja Turtles are for kids, read the comics, because the comics are not for kids. The comics are bloody as hell, bro. They be killing people. If you don't know what The Last Ronin, that's like the most recent graphic novel that kind of like wraps up the entire story of the OG Ninja Turtles that Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird started when they began like the comics to begin with, when they were like all had the red bandanas and like it was all in black and white and all that stuff. And that's one of the best graphic novels ever that I'm trying to buy it at this moment. And I can't find it in a freaking Barnes and Noble, and I have to order it on Amazon, and I don't want to because I want to have it now. So yeah, but take a look. Just it's so good. But anyway, I guess I'm gonna talk a little bit about Blue Beetle. And it sucks that you don't see, due to the whole strike with like the actors and stuff, that a lot of the actors, well, none of the actors can do promo because it's just like studios are shit, man. Like it sucks. Like the actors deserve fair pay for what they do, and like so do the writers and stuff. So it sucks like you can't have like the actors promoting their movies and stuff. And like even Blue Beetle, like that was sad to see because it's the first front and center live action Latino superhero, and like I watched it and I loved the movie. Like I could, like a lot of the Latino things in it, it's like it hit home, even though I'm not from Mexico, but like it's very similar. And like seeing that it had to be the director promoting the movie and stuff, it was weird. But it sucks that the box office, it's not performing as good in the box office because of like the actors not being able to promote it as much, and like it being a superhero that's not like front and center or like that known and all that stuff. But the movie is like the typical superhero movie, but it does have its like unique aspects with like the whole Latino, the like the family and like the jokes, like using the Spanglish, like all of that stuff. It's just it really hits home. Like obviously in Latino cultures, like the family is like something very important. And it, like that movie puts the family front and center, and then it's like having the scarab is like on the background pretty much. But the action scenes look really good. Like you can tell like the suit is mostly practical suit, and like I was watching an interview with the director and he was saying like that the suit was 90, like in the movie, like 90 to 95% of those scenes where the suit is in, it's practical suit. And I'm like, that's insane. Like that's like nowadays where everything is like CGI and stuff like that, like it really like it's nice to see that where like it's like an actual suit and stuff. So that was nice to see. But like the action in the movie is really good. I kind of wish like the bad guy was like fleshed out a little bit more. And I'm not talking about Cord, I'm talking about Carapax, because I felt like his story at the end was like very deep with like the whole thing of like School of the Americas and all that stuff. But it's, you know, it's like the typical superhero movie. Like he's a teen and then whatever, and then like, oh, he has superpowers now and like all that stuff. But the family really made it like into a unique movie. So go watch it. Give it a give it a gander. Take a look. Watch it. I went on $4 movie day with like when it was like National Movie Day or whatever. So it was good. I mean, it was worth it. Even regardless, I'm still gonna watch it. I want to watch Gran Turismo because I heard really good things about that movie. But yeah, man, it was a pretty eventful month. Obviously, most of the eventful stuff was in my private life, which I told you guys the bare minimum because that's how I'm gonna keep it. But who knows? Maybe she'll be a guest in a future episode. I don't know. Like, this chai is really hitting. But yeah, we'll see. I would love to keep talking, but I'm very tired. I took NyQuil before I started recording, and I'm starting to fall asleep. And I don't want to say anything that's out of pocket because I'm half asleep. So without further ado, we're going to wrap it up here. Once again, thank you guys for listening, watching, subscribing, following the podcast, liking the videos, whatever. It really does mean a lot to me, and I'm glad to be back. Don't worry. I'll do my best to do weekly episodes. If not, I'll do bi-weekly for sure. I might even try and do one right after the marathon. We'll see if I can move all of my equipment, man. Like it's hard because I still can't close my laptop because it's still the same old piece of junk with the broken screen. So but yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll be seeing you guys real soon. This was episode 67 of the Pretty Decent Podcast with Javier Sierra, and we'll call it a night or a day whenever you're listening to it. All right, take care. Peace. That was a terrible. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the outro, but take care. I love you guys. Take care. Peace.